chemical properties of an water. We started with the start ಮಾಡಿದೆವು chemical properties of water ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ. Is it audible? ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತದೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ? Okay, fine. Then tell me, after the chemical properties of water, which was the next topic we started in the hydrogen? D2O, which is known as heavy water, or it is also known as deuterium oxide here. Clear? So before that, as we studied the chemical properties of an water, among the chemical properties of an water, our first property was, first property yavudu chemical property work? Yeah. So I am talking about the chemical properties of an water. So in an chemical properties of an water, our first property was stability. As we stated, the water molecules are quite stable because even on heating it up to 1500 degree Kelvin, so it decomposes only for 2% as the hydrogen and oxygen. H2O na 1500 Kelvin heat ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ it decomposes as hydrogen and oxygen, and this decomposition occurs only about 2%. So here we consider as water is quite stable in nature, whereas our second property was conductivity. So in an conductivity, as we know, water is a poor conductor of heat and electricity because the ionization, it occurs to a lesser extent here. Ionization means water splits as H plus and OH minus. So here the ionization occurs to a lesser extent. They are poor conductors of electricity. Next, third one. Water act as an amphoteric in nature, means it will react with both acid as well as base. So it acts as an acid as well as base here. When it acts as an acid, it accepts the proton, which it donates the proton, whereas when it acts as a base, it accepts the proton here. Hence we wrote the reaction where HCl reacts with water. Similarly, we wrote a reaction where a base, that is an ammonia, reacts with water. In both the reaction, in this reaction you can observe water is acting as a base, whereas in a second equation water acts as an acid. As it can act as in both acid and base, they are considered to be amphoteric in nature. So after that, our fourth was oxidizing nature. Yeah, again the water acts as an oxidizing agent. So it acts as an oxidizing agent where itself undergo reduction, where we wrote a equation that sodium combines with an water molecule. So if sodium combines with an water molecule, we get sodium hydroxide with the liberation of hydrogen gas. During this equation, as we know, here sodium, which is 0, it has changed to +1, means there is an oxidation, whereas reduction has occurred in the hydrogen. Now as you see, water, where hydrogen which was +1, it has changed to 0 here. So decrease in the oxidation number is considered to be the reduction. So water acts as an oxidizing agent because it itself undergo reduction and makes other to undergo oxidation. Whereas our fifth property was, it was an hydrolysis, where the water molecule, it reacts with the metals, non-metals as well as compounds, and it undergoes hydrolysis to form ಏನು ಬರಬೇಕು ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಲೈಸಿಸ್ ಆತಂದ್ರೆ? They form their respective hydroxide. Calcium oxide reacting with water molecule, calcium hydroxide. Clear? Calcium oxide anna ಏನರ water molecule ಜೊತೆ react ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ our product will be calcium hydroxide. Similarly, we wrote a reaction where calcium nitride reacts with a water molecule. Again we get calcium hydroxide. And another one, hydrogen and nitrogen, they form an ammonia, that is NH3. Clear? So these were the hydrolysis reaction. After hydrolysis, it was the hydrate formation. Water molecules undergoes hydrate formation where most of the ionic salts it combines with an water molecule where water is present in a crystalline form, hence such salts are known as an hydrated salt. For example, we can write it like this: copper sulfate pentahydrate. This is known as an hydrated salt where water is present in an crystalline form with the salt here. Hence such a salts are known as an hydrated salts here. Whereas the another way of hydrate formation is water may be present within a sphere, coordination sphere, hence which are known as in complexes. So here such complexes where water is present within a sphere can be named as an coordination compounds here. Hence these were the chemical properties of water. So after the chemical properties we started with an heavy water. Clear? So the next topic was heavy water, where heavy water formula is, it is D2O. Clear? So in this heavy water can also be named as what it is? It is also known as a deuterium oxide. Heavy water was first invented by, it was been first invented by Urey in 1932. He showed that ordinary water contains ಇದು heavy water ಎಲ್ಲಿರ್ತದೆ? So here the heavy water is present in the ordinary water. In ordinary water adala, in that ordinary water we get various traces of heavy water. Ordinary water ಒಳಗ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಎದರದಿರ್ತದಂತ heavy water ಇರ್ತದೆ. So here ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ it is nearby 1 part of 6000 parts of in water. 6000 parts water ಇದ್ದಿತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದ್ರೊಳಗೆ ಬರೀ 1 part ಎದರದಿರ್ತದಂತ ordinary heavy water, which is also known as deuterium oxide. So we state that heavy water is known as deuterium oxide. It was first invented by an American scientist named as Urey in 1932. So he showed that ordinary water contains small traces of heavy water in it, that is around 1 part of 6000 parts of in water. So 6000 parts of nearly 1 part ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಏನಿರ್ತದಂತ heavy water ಇರ್ತದೆ. So after that you studied the physical properties of in water, heavy water. Physical properties study ಮಾಡಿವಿ ನಾವು heavy water ಇದ್ದು. So where our first physical property was, it is colorless, odorless, and tasteless liquid. So it is a colorless, odorless and tasteless liquid. Next, the boiling point of heavy water is 374.4 Kelvin. What about the molecular mass of molecular mass of D2O? It is 22.02 U, or it may be written as in grams if it is a gram per mole. So among the physical properties, it is a colorless, odorless and tasteless liquid where the boiling point of an heavy water is 374.4 Kelvin, whereas its molecular mass is 22.02 unified mass. So after that you studied the preparation of heavy water. ಇದು already study ಮಾಡಿವಿ ನಾವು. So how we are going to prepare the heavy water? It is by the fractional distillation of what? Fractional distillation of what? We get an heavy water. ಎದನ್ನ ಫ್ರಾಕ್ಷನಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟಿಲೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅದ್ರಾಗಿಂದ ಹೆವಿ ವಾಟರ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ. The ordinary, yeah, it is an water. The ordinary water which contains small traces of heavy water, this ordinary water has to subjected for a fractional distillation. Why we are subjecting our ordinary water for a fractional distillation? Because the boiling point of an ordinary water and heavy water, there are certain difference between them. Due to the difference in the boiling point, we can separate the heavy water from the ordinary water by a fractional distillation. So ಎರಡು ವಾಟರ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಏನದ ಅಂತ ಬಾಯ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಅದ. ಬಾಯ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಎದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? ಫ್ರಾಕ್ಷನಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟಿಲೇಷನ್. So after that we get an heavy water. Now tell me, what is the boiling point for an water? 373 Kelvin, okay, whereas boiling point of an heavy water is 374.4 Kelvin. Means during fractional distillation, first the water, it starts boil, it gets converting into vapors, hence the condensation takes place and water can be collected, whereas remaining behind liquid is considered as a deuterium oxide, that is nothing but our heavy water. Clear? This is what we have studied in the last class regarding the heavy water, that is its introduction, physical properties as well as the preparation, where the preparation of heavy water is done by the fractional distillation of an ordinary water. Whereas the next is chemical properties of heavy water. So next part is chemical properties of heavy water. So among the chemical properties of an heavy water, first is reaction on alkali or alkaline earth metals under group 1 ಮತ್ತು group 2 metals ಜೊತೆ. So the deuterium oxide, that is an heavy water, if it reacts, it will react with that and we get certain product here. So now tell me, if it is an alkali or alkaline earth metal and they are reacting with an deuterium oxide, what is the product? Product in ಬರ್ತದೆ. Yeah, we get an hydroxide, but can we name it as an hydroxide now? ಈ OH ಬಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಹೈಡ್ರಾಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಅಂತ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ OH ಬರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ, OD ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದನ್ನೇನಂತ ಕರಿಬೇಕು? See here, same reaction I will write it for water, and same reaction we can write it for deuterium oxide, that is a heavy water, D2O. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಬರ್ತದೆ? NaOH, yeah, plus H2, where here we get NaOD plus D2. Now tell me, this is sodium hydroxide. What is this? Deuteroxide it is. Clear? So this is known as deuteroxide. So here it is hydroxide, here it is deuteroxide. So here whenever the alkalis or alkaline earth metals, they react with an heavy water, we get an deuteroxide here. So first equation we have written here, sodium reacts with heavy water to form sodium deuteroxide. Similarly, if it is calcium reacting with deuterium oxide, what is the product? Calcium, CaOD twice plus D2. Clear? So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಬರ್ತದೆ? deuterium oxide ಬರ್ತದೆ. So we need to balance it. So we can balance it by writing here 2. What about the second equation? 2Na, and here it is 2D2. Clear? So here it is similar to that of an water, but the difference is instead of H2 we are writing it here D2. Next equation. Reaction with particularly which oxide? Metallic oxide. So next is a reaction with metallic oxide. Means the oxide formed by metals are known as metallic oxide, whereas the oxides formed by non-metals are known as non-metallic oxide. So ಈಗ ಮೆಟಲ್ ಇಂದ ಬಂದಿರುವಂತ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಗೆ ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರೆಯುತ್ತೀವಿ? ಮೆಟಾಲಿಕ್ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಅನ್ನತ್ತೀವಿ. So here as you know metals group 1 ಒಳಗೂ ಮೆಟಲ್ ಇದಾವೆ, group 2 ಒಳಗೂ ಮೆಟಲ್ ಇದಾವೆ. So if it is a calcium oxide, it is a metallic oxide. If it is a calcium oxide and it is reacting with a heavy water, what is the product? Yeah, calcium OD twice, it is calcium deuteroxide, calcium OD twice. Similarly, if I write the metallic oxide as sodium peroxide, sodium metal ada, ಅದರಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರುವಂತ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಗೆ sodium peroxide ಅಂತ ಕರೀತೀವಿ, Na2O. So if it reacts with D2O, yeah, Na, no wrong, it is not, it is NaOD twice. Yeah, just we get it as NaOD. Sodium hydroxide ಬರ್ತೈತಲ್ಲ, NaOH ಹೆಂಗ್ ಬರ್ತದಲ್ಲ ಅದೇ ಜಾಗಕ್ಕೆ NaOD ಬರ್ತದೆ. So here, so whenever the metallic oxides reacts with a heavy water, again our product is deuteroxide. Hydroxide ಬರ್ತದಿಲ್ಲ, ಆ hydroxide ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಂತ ಕರಿಬೇಕು? Deuteroxide ಅಂತ. So again the first equation has to be balanced here. I will hang balance ಮಾಡಬೇಕಿದೆ. 2CaO, okay, and here if I write it again 2D2. Now it is been balanced. Next, second equation, sodium peroxide and deuterium oxide. 2NaO. Clear? So next, the third reaction is with non-metallic oxides. Now what are these oxides? Non-metallic oxides andre ಏನು? What are, yeah, if a non-metal reacts with an oxygen and we get the oxide is known as a non-metallic oxide. Now for example, sulfur is a non-metal. So sulfur reacting with an oxygen and it forms two types of an oxide, sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide. ಈಗ ನಾನ್ ಮೆಟಲ್ ಇಂದ ಬಂದಿರುವಂತ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್, ಈಗ ಫಾಸ್ಫರ್ ತಗೊಂಡೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫಾಸ್ಫರ್ ಇಂದ ಬರುವಂತ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್, ಅವೇನಾರ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಜೊತೆ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆದಾಗ ಅವನ್ನ ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು? ನಾನ್ ಮೆಟಾಲಿಕ್ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ಸ್. ನೌ ಇಫ್ ದೋಸ್ ನಾನ್ ಮೆಟಾಲಿಕ್ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ಸ್ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ an heavy water, clear, what will be the product? Now before that, as you know, if the heavy water reacts with alkali and alkaline earth metal, our product is deuteroxide. Similarly, if the metallic oxides reacts with the heavy water, again our product is deuteroxide. Same thing here. Now but when the non-metallic oxides reacts with an heavy water, our product are acids. Clear? ಯಾವತ್ತು ನಾನ್ ಮೆಟಾಲಿಕ್ ಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಏನಾರ ಹೆವಿ ವಾಟರ್ ಜೊತೆ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆತಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಏನ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಅಂತಲ್ಲೇ? ಆಸಿಡ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ನಾವು ಸಿ ಸಲ್ಫರ್ ಟ್ರೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ? sulfur trioxide, SO3. Now this sulfur trioxide reacts with heavy water, D2O. We get here B2SO4. ಇದೇ ಜಾಗಕ್ಕೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅದು ಏನಂತ ತಿಳಿಲಿ ಎಂದು ಬರೀತೇನೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಹಾ, ಏನು ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಿ? ಯಾ H2SO4. Then what is this H2SO4? Sulfuric acid it is hydrogen sulfate. Sulfuric acid ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಲ್ಫರ್ ಟ್ರೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಜೊತೆ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆದಾಗ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಸಲ್ಫ್ಯೂರಿಕ್ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಬರ್ತದಲ್ಲ, ಸೇಮ್ ವೇ ಸಲ್ಫರ್ ಟ್ರೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಹೆವಿ ವಾಟರ್ ಜೊತೆ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆದಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಬರ್ತದ, ಆಸಿಡ್ ಬರ್ತದ. ದಿಸ್ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಈಸ್ ನೋನ್ ಆಸ್ ಡ್ಯೂಟೀರಿಯಂ sulfuric acid. So the acid which is formed by that deuterium, here it is known as deuterium sulfuric acid. Just adra mun deuterium anta hachbek, acid name common idu. Now here imagine same as that of a water molecule and tell me if SO2 reacts with an heavy water, what is the product? D2, yeah, SO3. What is this? D is deuterium. H2SO3 is which acid? It is sulfurous acid. Clear? H3, sorry, H2SO3 is sulfurous acid. H2SO4 is sulfuric acid. ಈಗ ಅವನು ಏನು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ನಾವು, ಡ್ಯೂಟೀರಿಯಂ ಸಲ್ಫ್ಯೂರಿಕ್ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡ್ಯೂಟೀರಿಯಂ sulfurous acid. So in this equation it is stated that whenever they are reacting with a non-metallic oxides, our products are acids here. Next, next is reaction with salts. What happens if this heavy water reacts with an salt? So if we need to give some examples for the salts, so first example, if I consider it as, what is this? In Mg3N2. Mg3, yeah, it is magnesium nitride. So we have written a salt here. So if magnesium nitride reacts with an D2O, that is an heavy water, which are the possible products here? Same way ಒಳಗೆ H2O ನ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ತೆಗೀರಿ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ D2O ದು ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ. Positive combines with a negative here, cation clubs with an anion. So in the first magnesium nitride, which is an positively charged magnesium, heavy water ಒಳಗೆ OD minus charge ಅದು. So ಅವೆರಡು ಕ್ಲಬ್ ಆತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಬರ್ತದೆ? Yeah, Magni, very good. MgOD twice plus ND3. ಅಲ್ಲೇ NH3 ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಬರ್ತದೆ? ND3 ಬರ್ತದೆ. So here magnesium nitride reacts with heavy water, it forms magnesium deuteroxide plus ND3, that is nitrogen hydride. Here it is deuterium formed hydride. So here MgOD twice and plus ND3. Similarly, what is this now? Yeah, it is a calcium phosphide. If calcium phosphide reacts with heavy water, yeah, CaOD twice plus PD3. ಅಲ್ಲಿ PH3 ಬರ್ತಿತ್ತು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಬರ್ತದ? PD3 ಬರ್ತದೆ. So here whenever the heavy water reacts with an salts, it forms an respective hydroxides which is known as deuterium oxide, and there is a formation of hydrides. So here it is ND3, whereas at the second where it is a phosphide, it is PD3. Clear? So this is about the reaction with salts. Whereas next the question is, if the heavy water undergoes electrolysis, what happens? Heavy water ಏನಾರ electrolysis ಆತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದ? ಹೆವಿ ವಾಟರ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಲೈಸಿಸ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಓಡಿ ಡಿ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಇದು ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ರಿ. ಇದು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರೋಲೈಸಿಸ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರ it was among the resemblance of an hydrogen with alkali as well as halogens. Otherwise new study madidri. So as I stated you, in an electrolysis always anode is positively charged. Electrolysis ಒಳಗ anode ಯಾವತ್ತು ಏನಿರ್ತದಂತ positively charged ಇರ್ತದೆ, whereas cathode is negatively charged. This condition is, this condition is applicable for electrolysis. Now my question is, if heavy water is undergoing electrolysis towards anode and towards cathode, which gas is being liberated? ಆನೋಡ್ ಕಡೆ ಯಾವ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಲಿಬ್ರೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಕ್ಯಾಥೋಡ್ ಕಡೆ ಯಾವ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಲಿಬ್ರೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ? ಡಿ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಓಡಿ ಮೈನಸ್. ನೋ ಸಾರಿ, ಆ ಟೈಪ್ ಗ್ಯಾಸೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ವಾಟರ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಡಿಕಂಪೋಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದ? ಹೌ ಡಸ್ ದಿ ವಾಟರ್ ಡಿಕಂಪೋಸ್ ಅನ್ನತ್ತೇನ, ಡಿಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. ವಾಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್? H2 plus O2 ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಆಗ್ತೈತಿ, ಹಂಗಿದೆ D2 plus O2 ಆಗ್ತದ. ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಡಿಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರ ಅಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಆಗುದು, ಹೌದಾ? ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇದ್ರೊಳಗೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಡಿಕಂಪೋಸಿಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದ? ಡಿಕಂಪೋಸಿಷನ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ? ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಾವು, H2 ಮತ್ತು O2. ನಾವು ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದೆವು, ಸ್ಟೆಬಿಲಿಟಿ. Water undergoes decomposition to form hydrogen and oxygen. Now as we know, here we get deuterium, that is D2 and O2. But here oxygen is electronegative. How the oxygen electronegative itandre adra mele minus charge irtade. So it will move towards which electrode? Oxygen, as it is more electronegative, it move towards which electrode? It move towards the anode, oppositely charged electrode kade hogಬೇಕು. So this will move towards the anode and it liberates as oxygen gas. Clear? Whereas the deuterium, it move towards the cathode because deuterium is electropositive. ಈಗ ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಐತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಎದರ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ಲಿ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ಡ್ cathode. So here we get it as D2. So in this, in an electrolysis, always the deuterium is liberated towards the or deposited towards the cathode. So hence these are the chemical properties of a heavy water. That is, first it is reacts with alkali as well as alkaline earth metals where it forms an deuterium oxide. Second, it reacts with an metallic oxide again to form an deuterium oxide. Whereas the third reacts with a non-metallic oxides, but there we get an acids here. So for example, it is an sulfuric acid, sulfurous acid. Whereas next is an reaction with salts. Whenever it reacts with certain salts, it forms deuteroxide along with the certain compounds over there. So here we have given an example for magnesium nitride, calcium phosphide. Similarly, you can give the example as calcium oxide, etc. So after that, the heavy water, it undergoes electrolysis where deuterium is being liberated or deposited towards the cathode. Clear? So this is about the heavy water. So by this, it is the completion of an hydrogen chapter. So in our hydrogen, we started from the introduction to an hydrogen, resemblance with group 1 and group 17. After that, it was the hydrides, 3 types of anhydrides: ionic, covalent and ionic covalent ion, interstitial or metallic hydride. So after the hydrides, it was the water. We have studied the structure of a water molecule in solid state. Along with that, the physical as well as the chemical properties of water. Along with that, the next part was the heavy water. So in this, now as we know, this is the completion of an hydrogen chapter. So in our next class, we can start with a new chapter, either the inorganic chemistry or with an organic chemistry. Clear? But recording.